Hello, it's Spot the Money, and I am Bimbola Awiyale. First ODI postponed again. Tottenham on top. Kenyan smashes a half marathon record. And what's the deal with Arsenal and Barcelona? All these and more after the break. Well, the first ODI between South Africa and England at Eurolux Boland Park was abandoned again on Sunday after two staff members at the Vineyard Hotel, where England are staying, tested positive for COVID-19. The match was initially delayed as the England team and management awaited further results, but a decision was later made to abandon the match. The first ODI, which was to take place at Newlands on Friday, was postponed due to one of the Proteas players returning a positive COVID-19 test. It remains to be seen whether the series will now go ahead at all, considering England's fears around the biobubble environment. A decision on the remainder of the series will be forthcoming once the two camps have made a decision. Now in athletics, Kenya's Kibiwott Kandie on Sunday broke the half marathon world record, becoming the first person to break 58 minutes at the Valencia Half Marathon. His latest achievement comes after he finished second at the World Half Marathon Championships in Gdynia in October. Kandie finished the race in 57 minutes and 32 seconds, knocking 29 seconds from the previous record at 58 minutes 1 second set by compatriot Jeffrey Kamworo in 2019. The top four men all ran under the previous world best, with Jacob Kiplimo of Uganda finishing second in 57 minutes 37 seconds. Kenya's Ronex Kipruto finished third in 57 minutes 49 seconds, and Kenyan Alexander Mutiso took fourth place in 57 minutes and 59 seconds. So Floyd Mayweather, the former five-weight boxing champion, has announced he will take on YouTuber Logan Paul in a special exhibition fight in February 2021. The 43-year-old Mayweather ended his career unbeaten in 50 bouts. He last fought in 2017, beating MMA star Conor McGregor in one of the richest bouts in boxing history. 25-year-old Paul has fought once professionally, losing to fellow YouTuber KSI in November 2019. The fight, which will take place on 20th February, that's the fight between Mayweather and Paul, is likely to draw huge pay-per-view numbers and is the latest chance for Mayweather to take on an opponent beyond the traditional boxing world. So, Nigeria's Enyimba International Football Club will face Sudanese side El Merreikh SC after booking a spot in the first round of the CAF Champions League qualifiers with a 2-1 aggregate win over Rahimo on Sunday in Aba. The People's Elephant, who had defeated Rahimo 1-0 in Burkina Faso in the first leg, drew 1-1 in Aba to advance to the next round of the competition. Austin Oladapo scored the opener for the hosts in the 61st minute, but they were dragged back in the 75th minute by Pape Ware's strike. Nigeria's other representative, Rivers United, also qualified for the first round of the CAF Confederations Cup after defeating Fichuru Kings 2-0 on penalties. We are now joined by sports journalist Azu Prince Onitsha. Azu, good morning.
Great to be on the show today after a hectic traffic.
Yeah, traffic in Lagos, so unpredictable, so undependable.
How you been, bro?
I'm fantastic. All right, let's start our conversation this morning. Tottenham are on top of the league. Any surprises?
Hooray! Yeah, surprises before the season started, but not at this point when they picked up from where they left off, from Manchester United, Man City, and now Arsenal. I wasn't surprised they won that game. We saw it coming, and we knew the number of guys who were going to get the goals. Harry Kane and Son Heung-min, at least they will be in the goals and the assists. Now, surprises whether they're on top of the table. Yes, I said before the season would have started. We saw what Mourinho did last season. They struggled to a level, and funnily, there were not too many add-ups. But maybe most likely Højbjerg, the man who was at Bayern Munich at some point, moved up to Schalke 04, played 4 good seasons at Southampton, and is looking like the best buy already for the Premier League. Finally, people are talking about Diego Jota a lot, but Højbjerg is doing something in that midfield that you can't imagine. He did so wonderfully well against Guardiola. That's the man who didn't play him so much, or almost didn't play him at all while he was at Bayern Munich. They have a little of bad blood. And look at what Mourinho is doing with this guy. Now, I'll tell you what is working for Mourinho and the team. What I feel is working. Check Mourinho from the teams he won the Champions League and won the league titles. His pedigree and his status is bigger than that team. He flourishes at the club side like that. When he went to Real Madrid, that's the only place he didn't do so well. Same with Manchester United. But a team where they've not won the Champions League or they've not won the league title, these guys are below Mourinho. So he's telling them words of experience and it works for him. So the players are humble and Mourinho gets the results. Although he might not be able to keep that relationship for too long, but if you ask me if they're going to win the league this season, I'll say 70% is true. Because every other team is faltering currently. Man City are trying to pick up from how they started. Chelsea, yes, look good, but don't look like contenders, but don't look more as contenders as Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United, not really anywhere to be found. They are good today and tomorrow they are down, but although they've been getting results. But you still give it to Tottenham. They might not keep the possession. It was 70-30 yesterday against them, but there's something Mourinho just wants. Go put the balls in the back of the net, give them the balls and let them take it home.
So Arsenal are in the bottom 6 of the table. They've lost their 6th game of the season already after playing 11. At this stage of the season, when Unai Emery was the manager, he had been sacked, and Arsenal had lost only 3 games and were 6th on the table. How is Arteta still on the job, Azu?
The last time they were in this situation, I'm not sure Arteta was even born. 81, 82. Is that 40 now? I didn't check before I came on the show. I said I was going to do that. I think he should be in his late 30s. That's how bad it is for us at this point in time. Like you asked, is he still on this job? I already said he was going to be a failure coming into Arsenal. Although it proved me wrong at some point, but now I would say my words are coming to pass. Arteta, as the Arsenal manager, I felt he had not learned enough, number one. And I felt also that when he was given the opportunity at Manchester City, the day against Liverpool, notably in the Champions League, I saw a manager who didn't have confidence in himself. He couldn't mentor the players to actually get at least a result against Liverpool. They lost that game home and away. Remember that Champions League game 2 seasons ago, or 3 seasons ago, when Liverpool went on to the final to lose to Real Madrid. It was a painful night because we were wondering, this is not the City that even played the first leg, even if they lost scandalously. There was no spirited fight. There was nothing. Now they're getting the ball split. I think Arteta is a very hard guy. See what he did to Thomas Partey yesterday. Yeah, you would have expected that to happen, but I think he's not getting what Arsenal needs. And Arsenal are always slow. Arsenal, I think I will use this word I always use for the management and the board has got something called long suffering. They don't rush to get managers out. Emery had to play 2 seasons before this happened to him. Now he sees games lost already. Arteta might still be there till next year. With what we know, with Arsenal, they might not rush to get managers sacked. It's not their tradition. But firstly, I ask, why is Arteta on that job? If you really want to contend for something, it's not just because you want to see fans. Now the fans are not there to give you that money that you've always clamored for. Then what is Arsenal playing for? Nothing to show the fans, even watching from home, that this is what we want to do. You keep possession of the ball and you struggle to get the ball even close to the goalkeeper. He's not playing the players where they should be played. He's not playing the right players on the pitch. And people are bringing that name Ozzy every now and then. Might he ask, what is Arteta's goal? What does he want to get? I think that's the question Arsenal been asking when they're coming on to get him. He's just adamant, and I think he's a very stubborn person. Now, it's not helping the team at this point in time. It looks very stubborn to me. I won't be surprised if Thomas doesn't get to play even after he comes back from injury. because of what happened yesterday.
You mentioned Ozil. Now, there was a lot of backlash after, the North London derby. Aubameyang has only scored one goal in open play, and then he scored a penalty against Manchester United, and he's finding it hard now to get goals. He was Arsenal's saviour. They had to push him to sign another deal, and now that he's signed a long-term deal, he's not getting the goals anymore. What do you think is, if, he can be playing and, getting paid, there was a lot of talk about Ozil, not playing and still earning his 250,000 or 300,000 pounds, depending on what the amount is. Now, Aubameyang is playing, is also still not contributing, and is earning the same amount or similar amount of money. So is it maybe they have to squash this thing with Ozil and bring him in, or do you still think there is still no need to have Ozil in that squad?
Now, if you choose not to have Ozil, what's the reason? Is it a managerial thing or a management or a board thing? And what has Ozil really done that is affecting them at this point? Ozil wrote an open letter recently. Most of us read it and saw what he actually poured out in his mind. Yeah, he had some of the blames too, but why keep a player? Or why does he even choose to stay on the bench? Now, let's work with the team that we have. Is Arteta good enough to handle this team? Arsenal are not as bad as they are performing at this point in time. If teams like Leeds United can still win games, if Aston Villa can still win games without signing too many players, and you have stars who are playing in the Champions League, and some of them already still playing in the Europa League back-to-back, you have no business where you are at this point in time. If there's a team that should be hungry or should be moving up the table with every other team faltering right now, it should be Arsenal, because in recent years they've not had results. That mentality of, we were here before, this is not where we should be, should pop up. And it doesn't look like it for Arsenal already. Since Wenger left, Emery was a good signing for me. Maybe the result didn't just go his way. But going Arteta's way, what has Arteta done? When I ask this question, people will ask me, how about Pep Guardiola? He already showed traces of what he wanted to do. This is a man who had a master plan. Arteta didn't show us that sign. He didn't have a master plan. He just went from being assistant to Guardiola without handling any youth team or anything, and moving straight into the first team of Arsenal. And they are suffering for it at this point. With the same team that they have, even if you choose not to play Ozil, I keep mentioning two names, Bukayo Saka and Ceballos. One of them can actually take up this role and do wonderfully well. I saw Saka the first day in the Europa League, and I was like, who is this young man? That was 2 seasons ago. So how much confidence do you need from a player again to play in that position? All you just need to do is tell him this is your role, know what to do with ball when you get to these points, let the ball get to players like Aubameyang, and they put it in the back of the net. Even if you're conceding goals, you will keep it a bit tight at the back when you attack, and players can also enjoy the game. Aubameyang is not enjoying the footballing game at this point in time. You want to put all the blame on him, put it on Arteta, because these men were doing well before Arteta came in.
All right. So from one underperforming team to another, what's happening with Barcelona? Can you help me?
Same style of football, people say most times, but I think Barcelona are not in the most right frame of mind. Even Koeman said we took a giant step backwards in the La Liga, and that's what we saw when they lost to Cadiz 2 days ago. A very painful and unnecessary loss. They considered the first goal, it was an error. They picked back up like, we're going to get this result. Moved close, did everything, and equalizer came in from an own goal from Pedro Alcala in that particular encounter after Alba tried to find another player in the box. Barcelona threw everything in. Messi came on top of his game. Griezmann still a bit of a passer-by in an encounter that you're expecting to step up. And next we see is a Clement Lenglet not knowing which foot he plays and not knowing what to do as the last man in the defense. Just a throw-in. And an Alvaro Negredo, who is brilliant any day, anytime, did the wonders in that particular encounter as a veteran. It was an irritating way to concede a goal when you needed to get a victory. Barcelona look like they are picked back up until this result again, and it takes them like Ronald Koeman, the coach, said, 10 or 15 steps backward in this particular way. They have failed to win 4 of their last 5 La Liga away, 4 straight away La Liga matches, losing 3 and drawing 1, and that's where the problem is. The last time we saw this was in 2007-2008 when we had Frank Rijkaard after he had won the Champions League. They went really bad, and the man was there to go. Now they've got quality. And there is no excuse in Barcelona's team. The only place I think they have a bit of a deficiency is maybe the attacking midfield role, where you have even Coutinho and Pedri doing well, or actually should taking up the spot. But in the defense, I think the centre back is not the best for me at this point in time. Langley is not that man I want to see in that starting 11. If I still have an Umtiti playing, I don't know why Langley keeps making some very dangerous mistakes, not knowing what to do at the right. And that was the biggest error I've seen from a quality defender or a defender playing for such a team. And that cost them a lot. We wouldn't have been talking about a loss at this point. Barcelona might have gone on to win that encounter. But that's what football is. It's one of their seasons again, and they're still struggling. Who knows what is going to happen next? Will they let the coach go? Will it be the way it will end? We just wait to see what happens at the end of the day. But I think they need to change one thing or two in that team.
All right, in the Serie A, AC Milan are flying high. Are we seeing a return of the glory days when the Rossoneri were the toast of the Serie A, or is it too early to make such assumptions?
It might be very possible. They are just like what Tottenham are having at this point in time. Give it to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He has not played a couple of games, but I think the major person in that team that nobody's talking about is Stefano Pioli, the coach of the Italian side. Wonderful football they are playing. Look at the possession yesterday. They beat Napoli this season. They beat they played a 3-3 draw against Roma. They beat another top team, Inter Milan, away from home. That's the same with Giuseppe Meazza. They were playing Juventus. That's their biggest test on the 6th of January. I think they have everything going for them. All they just need to understand is a kind of football. Give it to Frank Kessie. The man is also playing from the defensive midfield and also getting goals for the team. AC Milan are a quality side. They don't have too many of the players. I think they can cope like this season, maybe try to win the league. But if they have more chances to sign players from January or after the season ends, they should go ahead. I think they're a contender for the league. They're a huge contender for the league. Pirlo is a new coach for Juventus, and that's why they have a deficiency at this point. Juventus can always pick up at any point in time to come and win the league title. But I think AC Milan have a higher chance if they can keep everybody fit and also have the best of it. Give it to Çalhanoğlu, but Stefano Pioli is the man for me any day, anytime.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Azu, for being our guest on the show once again.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so you've heard it there from the analytical desk. So we'll round up this one with some bit of a sad news. Veteran journalist, Nigerian veteran sports journalist, Muyiwa Daniel, has died at the age of 62. Daniel died at the infectious disease hospital in Yaba, Lagos on Sunday after being diagnosed with esophageal cancer. He worked at The Punch and National Concord and was also a columnist at The Telegraph. So that's our show. Spot the Money today. The conversation, as usual, continues on Twitter at AfricaBizRadio and online at www.africabusinessradio.com. Until our next episode, I'm Bimbola Uyele. Keep winning.